We begin tonight with that scathing internal conflict that's left the People's Democratic Party, or PDP, reeling, and any form of unity among its members in tatters. Factionalism, power struggles, and bitter rivalries have ravaged the once mighty party, leaving it a shadow of its former self. As defections mount and key members abandon ship, the PDP's very survival hangs in the balance. More so this weekend, as it prepares to hold a disputed national convention, with one faction calling the event illegitimate and another pressing ahead with it in defiance of restraining court orders. The party's inability to resolve its internal differences has sparked fears of a catastrophic collapse, one that threatens to erase the PDP's relevance in Nigerian politics. Let me just briefly remind you that there is a big problem at the moment with the People's Democratic Party. It's stuck in the mud, as we say in the business. Situation is getting messier and murkier. Court orders restraining it from holding its national convention, but the party is pushing ahead regardless. The event is due to take place in Ibadan on Saturday. Two federal court rulings have barred the convention, citing non-compliance with the party's constitution and a lack of proper notice to INEC, the Electoral Commission. INEC has been barred from monitoring or recognizing the outcome. The party is factionally split. There is a Wike-aligned group that is calling the convention illegitimate and urging members to boycott it. And of course, there are conflicting court orders and making it really difficult for anybody to actually quite figure out what's going to happen next. But again, I am told that we now have the line back in Ibadan, and apologies once again for the sort of up and down. But let's make a valiant effort and return to Ibadan and attempt to speak with the former PDP National Vice Chairman in the Southwest region, Eddie Olafeso. Can you hear me now then, sir?
Thanks very much, bro. I can hear you now.
Right. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. How much tension is there in Ibadan at the moment? Because I understand the rump of the PDP that's trying to hold the convention, of which you are a part, has deployed security operatives to try to prevent any sort of expected disruption.
I wish you're right here. It took me about 45 minutes to navigate from the gate of the stadium to the center of the inner stadium to know the number of people across the country, across the 36 states of the Federation here in Ibadan today. For us, my dear brother, it has been a long walk because the party has been, ensnared by all these difficulties they put before us. And we have made up our mind, re-energized to continue this journey beyond tomorrow so that we can continue to breathe life to our party. And let me tell you, there is no tension here. There is no tension here whatsoever. People are moving freely around. I walked for about 30 minutes to get into this place, and everybody is still here. Not any form of harassment from anybody, to let you know how desirous people are to get our party going once again. Those people you mentioned earlier are not friends of the party. Yeah. Yes?
Well, I mean, they are, to be entirely fair. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, my brother.
To be entirely fair, they are members of the party. I mean, they've been there from the outset. And what I'm wondering is, as you prepare to hold this disputed national convention, I mean, would you agree that your party is blighted by this internal conflict?
Not at all. it is deliberate and intentional to stalk and to make impossible our convention, because they are not desirous of moving ahead. They want the party dead. And the number of very happy people here, committed party members, are desirous to move ahead. Our constitution is clear as to how to resolve matters, as to how to ensure that when there are differences and the party members come together. The party has an executive, the National Working Committee, the Board of Trustees. As you could see within the last few days, they hold meetings in private residences, a few of them unknown most of the time to the party. We sit together to want to take decision on the party. Meanwhile, the Damagun-led executive that is supervising day-to-day running of the party are here doing the best they can to just get things going. For us, there is no looking back, and this moment must be achieved in order for us to give a rebut to our party. For me, what we are seeing today is more or less like the kicking of a dying horse. For those who insisted that the party must die, the majority of our people across the country are saying, no, the party will not die. We still have a role to play in this country. We are the essence of democracy. We are the opposition, and we must begin to act that way. It is deliberate that these people intentionally wanted to kill our party, and we say no to that.
Well, I mean, the Federal High Court has twice restrained the convention due to procedural issues. I mean, how do you justify proceeding despite these orders? Aren't you risking the convention's legitimacy and sinking the PDP deeper into a legal quagmire?
We will survive whatever quagmire they put on our way. The Supreme Court is clear in its judgment in ensuring the decisions of the party to manage and administer its own affair is not in doubt or in question. So the reality of it is that we are comforted to know that the laws of the land is behind us. And be that as it may, whatever they try to do, we are willing to ensure that we fight this over and we give freedom to our people to be able to decide their own destiny. They have a desire. They have their own agenda. The agenda is to make Nigeria a one-party state. The agenda is to support, and they said it openly. Some of them said that they will stay in PDP and work for other parties. Some of them said they are going to support APC in 2027. Some of them said that the party is dead. And most of what happened in this party were their own machinations. And they have done everything in the book to ensure that we are killed, but we keep on coming. How come for the last 10 years they keep on saying our party is dead and we keep on rising beyond this? Let me tell you, no matter the circumstance we find ourselves today, we are going to fight on and we are going to succeed and we are going to be victorious for all the people that believed in this party across the country.
Well, Mr. Olafeso, I mean, if you were relying on that Supreme Court ruling, which suggested that things like this are not for the courts to settle, but are internal party issues, why then did you guys proceed to secure an Oyo State High Court order for the convention to proceed?
The truth remains that we pursue our goals and they pursue their goals within the confines of the law. You know that PDP is not a violent party, and we do everything possible within the law. And the law is certainly clear when you have two cases of coordinate jurisdiction of courts. The last one stands, and the reality of it is that as at this moment, Oyo State stands on its decision that we should go ahead ensuring that INEC and the principals of the party, come to supervise what is going on. The beauty of this moment is what I'm looking at here. Unfortunately, you're there in Abuja, you cannot see it. It is the resilience of the people. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The reality of what these people are trying to do is to make sure that they silence the majority. And it's not going to happen. And we have submitted ourselves to the laws of the land. They have failed to submit themselves to the constitution of our party. Section 57, 58, and 59 makes it quite clear as to what it is to be an anti-party activity. They have been doing it with impunity. How can an individual without any designation in the party will suddenly be holding meetings in his house, electing officers for himself without any form of recourse to the constitution of our party? That cannot be done. That is lawlessness. And the PDP will not take it. My brother, this person talking, Dr. Eddie Olafeso, was once involved in a convention in a congress that I won, but because of the love of the party, I walked away from there, congratulating the party and moving on. We must be able to give and take. It's about the party, not about individuals. When an individual begins to think that he's God and is greater than the party, there will be consequences. And the people will speak tomorrow, and you will see that there is going to be a new beginning for our party.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what those consequences will be. In the interim, of course, the Electoral Commission, INEC, is barred from monitoring that convention. How will you legitimize elected officials if the Commission doesn't recognize the outcome? And is there any sign that they'll show up for this convention?
Yes, they will show up because they have been mandated by the Oyo State High Court to show up. And that is, obeying the law. And I know INEC has actually done one thing. When this matter came up, they recognized the Damagun-led administration as a bona fide, people saddled with responsibility of managing the party. Not those people suspended that gathered themselves in a house and started giving instructions. You can see how terrible and unfortunate it is for them to be speaking against their party, running advertorial, lying brazenly that this convention will be cancelled. Are they God? Are they the laws of the land? Who takes that? We've come a long way, my brother. It's a long walk for the People's Democratic Party, and we must reclaim our lost glory. We must move forward to a better tomorrow, and we must be able to redesign ourselves. You know why they don't want us to do this convention? They know the consequences of their action, and they will be duly punished in the appointed time. And that is the reality of what is going to happen beyond Sunday the 16th.
Now, beyond the legal quagmire that the PDP is clearly in, the Wike-aligned faction, as well as former Senate President Bukola Saraki, vehemently oppose this convention, calling it a waste of effort. They are, of course, key PDP figures, but they are boycotting the convention. Doesn't sidelining them undermine the convention's inclusivity and the party's democratic credibility?
No. It is emphasizing, putting in the front burner, the fact that the party is supreme to all. The desire of the new generation of People's Democratic Party members is to start a new beginning. Most of the leaders mentioned are those that actually created challenges for the party in the past. They've been walking away and coming back. They've been coming back and walking away. The new generation of PDP will not allow that. I can tell you something. We can learn from the rest of the world about what democracy stands for, what freedom of choice stands for. Look at what is happening in America. Not quite long ago, Trump won for the Republicans. And a couple of days ago, you saw the Democrats all returning, winning all the elections along the line. Let me tell you, unless you stand in one spot and begin to nurture democracy, all of us will be victim of the kind of violence and chaos that is going to be created by individuals. If it is not going their way, they must find a way. So it's not about exclusivity, it's about inclusivity and desire to move ahead, to say enough is enough. These people cannot take about 3 decades of our lives and continue to take it. Nobody takes that from them. By tomorrow, you see what happened in Adamasingba. It's a new beginning. And this is our own spring, a new beginning for a new idea. And that's exactly how the past can be laid to rest. Many of the people speaking are the genesis of our problems, and they have done enough for this party. They have stolen enough for the party to notice, and we are moving ahead without them if need be. It is just to exercise that right that majority has over minority. How can you compare 5 or 6 people to thousands upon thousands of people who laid their lives, who did everything possible to make this party greater, and they keep on? I mean, without them we move on, and you see what happens to the People's Democratic Party. I laugh when I hear about people saying just because some governors left the party, that is the end. They have only one vote, and many of them are running away from both probity and responsibility and accountability. And I can reassure you that they cannot escape the judgment of the people, and by extension, the judgment of God.
Right. Just as briefly as you can, because we're almost out of time. I mean, I don't really understand. Obviously, the people you're talking about are not sort of the rank and file of the party. They're very influential people, and they've been at the very top of the pecking order in the Let me just make the point at the People's Democratic Party. What I don't understand, Mr. Olafeso, is what the rush is, because by delaying for consensus, you could have strengthened the party, couldn't you? I mean, why risk a potentially invalid convention instead of negotiating a united path forward?
Thank you so much, very much. Their desire is to do exactly that. Bog us down by one child. Where have they been? If you say people of consequence, how have they used their consequence to bring the party together? What have they done in recent time that can bring unity to the party? It is not just saying things. Leadership is about ensuring that no matter the challenges we have, we all come together to resolve it. The founding fathers did that. They brought everybody together against military dictatorship. And I tell you, how many influential people across the world have actually lost influence because all they do is to constantly abuse the privileges of leadership. Isn't this abuse of privileges of leadership that you want to bog your party down, hold it down, kneel on its neck so that they cannot move on? Let me tell you, my brother, if they are desirous for peace, they know how to pursue it. But they are not desirous for peace. The Board of Trustees raised committees. They insisted on where they are going. And, you expect us to continue to say, okay, whatever you say is right. This moment is critical. Right. It will define the moment. Okay. If they have the majority, we will know by the end of Sunday. But we are very, very...
I'm going to come in there, Mr. Olafeso, because we're virtually out of time. Just one more question for you, and if you can be as brief as possible.
Go ahead.
From what I'm hearing from you, there is no question of delaying the convention.
Yes.
Ibadan is non-negotiable. If the convention proceeds and the courts... Yeah, if the convention... Yes. Can I just make the point? If the convention proceeds and the courts later nullify it, yes, will you take responsibility for destabilizing the party? Briefly, we've got 30 seconds.
Those who refuse to play along with the party in accordance with its constitution should take responsibility. They've been at this for so long. And the truth is that your war of freedom will start one day, and men fight, but God grants victory. And the truth is that we are too confident that the laws of the land will absolve and exculpate us from the slavery they wanted to put the PDP, People's Democratic Party, and the punishment they have actually, bestowed on our people. You remember, not quite 2 weeks ago, thugs were sent to our offices in Abuja to beat innocent people, to beat them up, to take over the land in such a bizarre, irresponsible, violent manner. Are those the people you call leaders? Why can't you, for once, understand that the essence of democracy is that when you lose, you take it, and you play along with what brings all of us the constitution of the party? For them, they will have judgment with history, and it will be very unkind to them.
No note, I want to thank you very much indeed. Eddie Olafeso is the former PDP National Vice Chairman in the Southwest region, and he is, of course, a part of the group that is proceeding with the National Convention in Ibadan. And he was talking to me live from Ibadan.